When the world's greatest athlete, Michael Jordan, teams up with the world's best-loved cartoon character, Bugs Bunny, you won't believe your eyes. Jordan, Bugs Bunny,
Special delivery!
together they just might save the
Space Jam is directed by Joe Pytka and is written by Leo Benvenuti, Steve Rudnick, Timothy Harris, Herschel Wingard, and stars one of the greatest basketball players ever made, Michael Jordan. And also stars Billy West as Bugs Bunny and D. Bradley Baker as a variant of other characters that I may be Daffy. And also stars, of course, it also stars Wayne Knight in live action. Wayne Knight, Bill Murray, Charles Barkley, Teresa Randall, and of course, in animation form, Danny DeVito. The movie itself is the first live action Looney Tunes movie, but it's done in a form of a sports movie. And I will say, I grew up on this movie. I love this movie. This movie has always been one of my favorite movies to watch as a kid. I had it on VHS, I had it on DVD, and then I just recently bought it on Blu-ray not too long ago. And I love this movie so much. And it made me smile all the way through. And it's really a hard movie to pick it. Like, I was sitting there watching the movie and I was just smiling the whole time. And I even bought a shirt just so that way I could, wear to review this movie. And I'm just like, oh, I can't wait to review this movie. And I watched it and I just smiled the whole movie. Even just when it starts out with "I Believe I Can Fly," even though the person that sung the song, you really can't it's hard to listen to that person's music now. But I mean, it worked for this movie. And then, of course, you have such great songs like "Fly Like an Eagle," and then you hear the Space Jam theme, all like "Everybody Get Up, It's Time to..." I don't want to sing all of it because I might get copyright strike. But, oh man, it's so great. This music, and it's just, and then you see and it's such a great plot, The movie is about Bugs Bunny, these aliens come from Moron Mountain, they're trying to find, because these kids aren't liking what they have here. So their idea is, we'll go get the Looney Tune characters like Bugs Bunny and them, and we'll bring them over here and make them slaves so that way they can work and they can entertain children. And so they go to Looney Tune World. Bugs Bunny just basically writes them off and then tricks them because he's smarter than them, and they are morons. And of course they basically threaten to we're gonna wipe you out, you are now all our prisoners. And even Daffy and everybody's laughing at him. And then when Yosemite Sam pulls out his guns to annihilate, they wipe him out. And then they're all like, I mean, it's so cute and fun. And so and then of course Bugs Bunny gets clever and okay, I'm gonna, and he says, he puts a book and puts cliff notes in there about what to do, how to not to annihilate enslaved people. And so he reads the book or something, and it says challenge them. They have the right to challenge to a basketball game, sports of their choice. And so they're like, basketball, and Daffy's like, what, basketball? And he's like, look at us and look at them. And then of course they're clever and they go to a basketball and still Charles Barkley and a bunch of NBA players, talents. And Michael Jordan, on the other hand, is he just got out of basketball and he's now retiring, going into baseball, where he's not doing so hot there because he's not a baseball player, he's a basketball player, and his talent's not necessarily there. And so, because he does this too, because he wants to honor his father, who was a baseball player. And so, I mean, and it works so well, his story. Both stories, I enjoy. And there's even a scene, people think, oh, I like only the live animation stuff. No, I literally there's a scene at the hotel. I don't know why. There's just a scene at the hotel where he's just sitting there watching the news, eating his McDonald's. And I thought, I like that scene. I don't know why. It soothes. It's a soothing scene. It's literally just him watching TV. I don't know why. It soothes. And then, Wayne Knight comes in, who plays his Stan. And he basically then names all of his sponsors, like saying, time to lace up your Nikes and, you know, grab a Big Mac, and just like naming a bunch of sponsors that, you know, tie into the movie. And so, you know, and Michael Jordan then of course gets sucked into he's playing golf with Bill Murray, and he gets sucked into a hole, and he basically finds out the Looney Tunes need a basketball game, and he needs a player, and after all this stuff, he ends up playing for them. And it's such a good, and it has a lot of strong messages. It's such a good movie. I will say before I keep praising it, I'm gonna say there's 3 things I've noticed, and I understand this is 1996. Like every time he runs, because this is all shot on a green screen, every time he runs, you could see like the back right here. You could see like, you know, it shakes a little and like it blurs a little because he's on a green screen. And when you're on a green screen, you know, you're moving around and stuff. Like if you right now, if I were to go buy a green screen, put it right here, and I was to move around a lot, it's gonna shake it. It's not gonna. It's gonna be blurry right here. It's gonna blur. You're gonna see like a motion blur right here because this right here. Because you can't, you're not, you know, because this right here, you know, this is a green screen, you know, you're not supposed to move around a lot like that. But I mean, that's a little bit of a complaint, and also the runtime. I would put the movie on, I'm like, oh, this feels like short because it just went through fast. But I mean, at the same time, it was a great movie though, and I will say, the monsters kind of like, they just feel like they're there. They say they're bad guy stuff and leave, and then they just don't come back, and then come back again later to play, and it's just, really? And there were some things I didn't like about it. Like, I didn't like, I felt like Michael Jordan, like, I liked Michael Jordan all the way through, but it feels like, okay, they throw him around as a basketball, then he's like, okay, I'll play. Like, just like, really? You've been saying for like the last 20 minutes, even after that, then now they're just like, it just feels like he was very not reluctant at all, like, you know. But I mean, other than that, I mean, that's like the smallest complaints I have for this movie. The movie does have a lot of strong messages about, like, you know, if you love something so much, you're giving it up for something else, but then you go back to it because that's the thing you're always meant to do. And Bugs Bunny has a really strong characterization in this movie. He always is like, you know, he's really clever, always thinks he's clever, and he gets it handed to him 3 times in this movie. Like, 3 times it actually shows him like he's in the wrong. Like, the first time is whenever he's being chased around by Elmer Fudd and the aliens cup, he thinks he's being clever by tricking him, saying, oh, Bugs Bunny, and he describes himself, and they're like, yeah, and he goes, never seen him, and they're like, oh, and then he beats clever, and then he just shoot like a laser beam, looks like a bomb, and then just, and like, you know, that comes back to bite him. And then the second time is when he's like, oh yeah, let's play basketball, let's let him have the court. And he goes, like, he thinks he's being clever. And then, of course, they turn into monsters and just destroy like a building. And that bites him back. And then the third time was with Lola Bunny, where she's basically like, he's flirty and calls her a doll, and then she just basically whips him on the court, like basically, and like, don't ever call me doll, and it becomes glass, you know. And, oh, that's so great. That's that right there. Like, the motivation is like, you know, like, and there was a lot of motivations that I maybe one day I'll go into like a thesis of, but it's so well done about how they hide adult themes of you know, characterizations in like a children's movie at that time, and how this movie is very progressive today compared to other movies, because this movie has a message compared to all the other Hanna-Barbera themed movies like Scooby-Doo and the Flintstones. This movie actually has a message, and that's why this movie stands the test of time, you know, compared to other movies. And I will say, this movie deserves the grade I'm about to give it. I will say, if you've never seen Space Jam, before you watch anything else, before you watch Tom and Jerry or Scooby-Doo the movie, watch Space Jam, because you deserve it. It teaches kids a message that they need to learn. And I'm going to give this movie an A+. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to have my review tomorrow for Space Jam New Legacy. Thank you all so much for watching. If you can, just give this video a thumbs up and fall down the rabbit hole for more. Thank you all so much. Goodbye. Thank you all.
Warner Brothers presents Jordan, Bugs Bunny,
Special delivery!
Together, they just might save the world. Space Jam. You've never seen any